Hello and welcome to USTS, the Ultimate Sports and Training Show. I'll be your host for today's show, Bob Lemire. I'm going to do a half-hour rant. What I'd like to do talk to everyone about today is how to increase energy, how to increase your game in whatever sport you're in, whether you're a youngster or you're an old-timer like myself. I've been teaching one way or another Taekwondo 50 years plus. And during those years, as I would grab my, try to get my rank, I would have to do a paper for each black belt test. We have nine degrees. I'm a ninth dan right now. We only do them up to seventh. So I did about seven papers, theses, and that was you had to do it. And all my papers were done. All right, and my instructor, great Grandmaster Mu Young Lee, he's one of the greatest in the world, Taekwondo. He loved them. He loved my papers because every one of my papers was about energy, and every time I did a different paper, I do a different form or a different subject on energy, how to increase energy in your body. All right, and at the time I was doing most of the papers, we didn't have these cell phones and we didn't have all that modern technology. What we had was the library or magazines that you bought or talking to people who knew what they were talking about in the field. And you had to comprehend that, and I would make sure that I knew what I was going to write for my next, so I would prepare. I'd slowly but surely over the years write things down and then put my papers together. As I said, my Grandmaster Lee would say, you always write about energy. I like that because he would learn things too. You know, as great of a Grandmaster he was, he would learn a few things that I would do my research on. And so what I'd like to do is go over a few things to increase your energy. All right. I just did a Taekwondo show 5 minutes ago over in the other studio. And it was more or less what I'm going to be talking about now, but that was my Taekwondo show, and showing isometric exercises. And I'll start with that, isometric exercises. Anyone can do them, whether you're handicapped, whether you're an older person, young person, it doesn't matter. If you don't know what isometric exercises are, look it up. And what it is body tension or static type of exercise where you have muscle resistance against an object or muscle resistance against your own body, like two hands put together pressing in front of your chest. That's one, and you'll feel the pressure on your chest, and that means your muscles are expanding or contracting. That's what a workout is. It's not like lifting weights. It's not like throwing kicks. It's not like running. It's a whole different thing where you can do sitting down instead of watching TV, doing absolutely nothing but watching TV. Do a workout. And there's thousands of different little body movements that you could do. People don't even know you're doing it at any spot, on your couch, in the middle of the store as you're waiting at the counter to your groceries, you're waiting in traffic. You're stuck in traffic. Not while you're driving. Try to concentrate on your driving. But when you're stuck in traffic, you said, do a whole workout, isometric workout, which means tense every muscle in your body for a good 15 seconds. And as you're tensing, what I like to do is call it 5-5-5. Breathe in for 5 through your nose. Hold it for 5. And then exhale for 5. Now, when you breathe in and you hold it, try to have your tongue touching the top of the roof of your mouth. And that's a whole scientific thing with the vagus nerve and your whole body, how things work together, how it is good for your body. I'm not going to get into that scientific stuff, but as you relax, let your tongue relax, your jaw relax, your shoulders, your whole body relax as you breathe out. Breathe in, hold for 5, breathe out for 5. Do it again, all right? While you're doing some of these isometric exercises. And, you could hold the steering wheel and just press hard. Don't break it, but pull apart. Take your hands, put it on your knee, press down. All right, take both knees, press them together hard, tighten up parts of your body. You'll feel it. You'll feel this exercise, and you're not going to gain muscle like you would if you were lifting weights. But if you do this a couple of times a day and you do it every day, you're going to see a little muscle development and more strength and flexibility in your body. So anyone can do it. If you're stuck in a wheelchair, if you're an older person and have a hard time walking, sit in your chair. Do a leg exercise also, whatever it takes to move the legs just a little and put tension on it. That tension means the muscles contracting, and then relax it. And by doing that with your breathing exercises, you're going to really have great benefits with your body. You're going to feel much better. You're going to be sore probably the first couple of days if your muscles aren't used to it. Sore means good. Don't overdo anything, especially when you begin, and learn your limits. Once you do that, you're going to be so happy. Stomach muscles, pull in your stomach. All right, pull it in. Count to 5. Hold your breath. Count to 5. Exhale, and then release your stomach. Do a couple of those every day, holding that stomach in as far as you can, then pushing it out as far as you can without pushing. I don't want you to hurt yourself. So push where you feel little tension, but still a little comfortable where you're not going to hurt yourself. It's kind of hard to hurt yourself when you're using your own body pressure, because your muscles are only so strong for yourself. Unlike if you try to lift something so heavy that you pull your back out, or so this is a kind of easy workout, especially for elderly people, right? And when I say elderly, I just turned 70. I consider myself an elder, and it's tough. You can't stop Father Time, so you do what you can to make it enjoyable and more comfortable for yourself, and that means movement. Stop moving, you will stop moving. Your body organs will not want to. They won't want to run, and I'm talking about everything, because nothing's moving, and atrophy sets in on your muscles. It's a quick way of a quicker death. So fight it to the end. Be like Jack LaLanne, right? If you watch my Taekwondo show, you'll see I'm talking about the same thing on this show today. Jack LaLanne, 96 years old, died, and he died of pneumonia. That guy would have lived to 100 and something if that pneumonia didn't catch him off guard. And at 90, he wanted to, or he did, and I should have done more of my homework, but at the age of 90, he wanted to swim across the English Channel with 90 rowboats tied to his back, and something about being handcuffed or something. He was unbelievably in shape. If you did sugar, he would be all over you. He was all over Arnold Schwarzenegger one day on the Mike Douglas show. 2 guests. Arnold Schwarzenegger happened to say, "I like ice cream," just like that. And Jack LaLanne stood up and started screaming and pointing at him, and his poor Arnold, who doubled the size of Jack LaLanne, just looked at him. Jack couldn't believe he wanted sugar and ice cream, and what are you, crazy? And Arnold was already the champ bodybuilder at the time. So Mike Douglas, after the rant was done and Jack LaLanne sat down, Mike Douglas looked at Arnold Schwarzenegger and says, "What do you think about that?" And Arnold goes, "I like ice cream." That was it. That was beautiful. That's Arnold. But it's not good for you, all right? And you can get away with a lot. We all have our habits, and believe me, I have mine, and our vices, obsessive compulsive. We're obsessed with everything. Obsessive compulsive disorder, almost like convulsive, and. Oh, I'm not obsessed with anything. Yeah, we'll take that phone away for you for a day. Let's see if you're obsessed with that. Let's take away your coffees with 5 sugars in each coffee. We'll see how you'll go crazy, right? So, or your soda. Oh, my God. If you're drinking soda and you're drinking these drinks that have artificial colors and flavorings, and which we all did, it's going to kill you. That soda, it just eats away at your body. You got to get rid of that. Sports drinks, do your homework with the sports drinks. I like the V8 drinks, and a lot of people won't because, unless you get low sodium. But it's probably one of the best for the fruits and vegetables that you can get. They're not the fruits and vegetables, and that's what you want to really do. Buy yourself as much fruits and vegetables as you like. You got to cut them up. Take yourself a half hour once a week or two. Put it in a container, good glass container, airtight if you can. That'll last you a few days. Grapes will last you for a week or so. A watermelon could last me for 4 days. A big watermelon, cantaloupe, honeydew melon, all these fruits and vegetables. You have to have them. As Tony Robbins once said, and I love listening to Tony Robbins, you're committing suicide. If you're not going to eat the right foods, you're committing slow suicide. You really are. When I was a kid, I don't know if I drank. I lived in Lowell, and they didn't have bottled water at the time. As they say, I'm 70 years old. So I'm 5 years old, 10 years old. And you drink that water in Lowell then, all it was like fluorides and chlorine or whatever it was. And it was warm. It was the worst thing you could ever drink. So you didn't. You drank Coca-Cola. I didn't like milk at the time, so I'm drinking Coca-Cola all the time and coffee. I don't know how I survived. Had a lot of energy at the time because that sugar was always in my body. And as you grow older and you do your homework, that's a good thing about the phone also. You Google anything you want, YouTube anything you want on good health. All right. You say to yourself, all right, what can I drink that's good for me? Boom. Go on Google. Go on YouTube. Don't trust everything you read because some of them are commercials and they'll say that they're good for you and they're probably not. You got to do a little homework. But you'll know, and just by looking at the ingredients and what you're drinking, should I be drinking this? Oh, it makes me feel good. Well, maybe for that little time, but what's it doing to your body and your organs? You drink water, fine. Drink water is great. Try to add a pinch of salt. All right. If you have medical issues or high, you don't want too much sodium. I use the Himalayan salt. All right. I don't use just regular processed salt and stuff. And I find that's the ones it's good for you. But I only use a little pinch. And what that does is when you put it in water, that'll help you with your electrolytes, which is what the whole thing's about. If you're drinking bottle after bottle water and you're not putting electrolytes back, they sell drinks with electrolytes, but you got to watch those also. And they're good drinks, but some of them have these artificial colors, flavors, artificial preservatives, blah. You don't want that. Right? Water doesn't have that. So you can get your sufficient amount of electrolytes through water. You put a pinch of salt. If you're worried about your high blood pressure or your sodium intake, talk to your doctor. I'm not a doctor. I'm just telling you, my years of research myself and what I know feels good for me. All right. You'll if you don't put that pinch and you drink a lot of water, hey, I drink 2 gallons a day, you're flushing out these electrolytes. You're doing more harm. Look it up. I'm not making this up because I've done my research on this. You're doing more harm than you are helping yourself. You're flushing out a lot of good things that are in your body. Water's good. Excess isn't good. And if you do the right amount, which is, they say half your weight in ounces. All right, so, you weigh 100 pounds, 50 ounces of water. It's kind of a lot. But then you say, especially guys or whatever, oh, I can't drink 50 ounces of water, but a 6-pack or a 12-pack could go down like it's water in a couple of hours. So if you say you can't do it, you really can. You just rather drink something else, I guess. Yeah, alcohol, especially if you're into sports, and believe me, organized sports, I've been into my whole life. I love beer. I love beer, and now, especially as I'm 70 years old, I'm really trying to just do something else, go in another direction. You can have beers. You can have a couple here and there, but even that's not good for you. They're finding out 2 beers a day should be max. Can really affect your organs and affect your whole body. So if you're doing much more than that, your liver's just screaming, saying, "Please stop." Thank God the liver's so strong and so reproductive, because we'd all be lying around on the streets, really hurting. So if you do give yourself a break here and there, you're going to find yourself feeling so much better, especially with all the way your body moves and the way your digestion is different, and your liver doesn't have to repair itself every day, you know. Breathing exercises, as I say, essential for sleep, good sleep. You're having a hard time sleeping. And if you don't get a good night's sleep, and I'm talking 8 hours plus, you don't get a good night's sleep, and you're into sports and you're into, all this, bodybuilding or whatever, you're hurting yourself. You have to rebuild your body and regenerate everything, and your mind and your brain and your cells. They can't keep going. People have tried to say, "Oh, you need 4 hours, no problem after that." And, some people maybe can get away with that, but they're not functioning in full throttle. You need the rest and to help your brain and your body rejuvenate itself from a day of bouncing around and working hard. If you're working hard, if you're in sports, you're trying to keep yourself in good shape. You better give yourself a chance to relax and just like I remember when I was younger, I was always a thin kid, and I wanted to get some muscles. A couple of my friends who were bigger kids, and they were lifting, and I said, "Oh wow, I better do something." So I started lifting probably at the age of 12, 13. And I'm the type of guy that I don't listen to too many people. I try to go off on my own sometimes, and I learn my own lesson. So I was going to do the same exercises every day. Lift on my arms every day, my chest every day. I was getting thinner and I was eating up my body and never letting it recoup. You have to let your body recoup from any kind of heavy exertion. If you don't, you're going to go backwards. Okay. Anything I'm saying, just Google it and YouTube it, and go to Dr. Mendel or whoever is out there. There's a couple of good ones out there. And YouTube it, say, how do I replenish my body? He's going to tell you. Fluids, good diet. You have to have a good diet. Fruits and vegetables are a must. All right? Find out which fruits and vegetables you like and make sure every day you have some of it. Glass containers that can be airtight are the best type to keep them in. You don't want any of that excess stuff from your Tupperware, the plastic Tupperware, whatever they call it, in your food. But it'll keep, all right? I'm just finding out myself, rice doesn't keep. After you've done with rice in a meal, throw it away. It starts, in my whole life, I would make a whole big bowl and eat it all week. That's bad. It's bad. It creates a mold that you can't see or whatever, taste. Just the way rice is. So, but you can keep a lot of food for a couple of days. And try to give yourself, an hour or two. Prepare some food. Now you're good for 2 or 3 days. That's good food. Do your homework on good food. Some real lean chicken. Eggs are good for you. Not every person can take every type of food. Fish, salmon, all right, ocean salmon, freshwater salmon stuff. All stuff like that that's really good for you. Processed meats, stay away if you can. All right, you know that. Processed meats. I love cookies. And, there's certain things you love. So try to do that in moderation. All right. If you're going to have a cookie, if you're going to have cakes, do it in moderation. It's like maybe 1 or 2 a day, not 50. And anything that we do in excess is going to hurt us. So even though it says, even vitamins, I would not listen to anybody and I would say, oh, vitamins, if I take this and it's good for you, you take double, it must be better for you. Yeah. Until all of a sudden you realize and someone, talks to you or you see that'll hurt you just as much. Overdoing the vitamins. So do your homework on your body intake. It's sad. A lot of doctors say you don't need them. Your diet should be. Your diet should be. 99% of we don't eat what we should to get the vitamins that we should. So try to find. This is my opinion. Good vitamin, multiple vitamin a day. I usually bank up on a little more on vitamin B complex. You know, magnesium at night, citrate, helps you sleep. Magnesium's good for you. One little pill. And some people would argue that I shouldn't. But as I say, I do what I think feels good for me, and I give it my best shot. Daily stretches, especially if you're working out. Anyone in sports, even if it's golf, people go, golf is an easy game. You'll blow your back out and your shoulders out with a hard swing like you would anything else if you don't do some stretches and moving around before you take on a game. All right, that's why most, not most, all right, sports like baseball and football, the coaches will make you do a workout or a stretching workout to get the body warmed up and get it straight before you go out there and make that throw, that a nice hard throw, but your body's tight. That's how you strain muscles, tear muscles, pull muscles. People have gotten really hurt on the golf course, rushing because they were late, to tee up because they're late and they got to tee up. Take that full body swing, and they're good golfers, using their hips and blow their hip out, blow their whole shoulder out. A golf swing, I'm an avid golfer myself. I'm not saying I'm good, which I'm not. Mediocre, maybe at the best. I've been golfing my whole life, but I know I have to stretch, especially as you get older. All right. Once you start getting over, 45, 50, your body's starting to get older. All right. And things are starting to shrink a little. You've got to take note of that. All right. And not thinking that you're, it's funny because I was still fighting, and I won New England championships in fighting at the age of 35 years old, 34, 35, and fighting kids that were in their 20s and in their early 20s. But by that time, I was already in the martial arts for like 15, 20 years, and I had an idea of how to keep in shape. When you are into a competition or a sport like boxing or taekwondo or judo or wrestling or something that the exertion of you against an opponent, in racing, running and stuff, you against an opponent, unless you excel and really do your homework and do your exercise to a point of not physical exhaustion every day, but to a point where you have to know that the person that you're going to be competing against isn't doing that. Okay? Half your battle, especially in the ring, and I've boxed a little too, half your battle is yourself. When that bell rings and you start going crazy and you're nervous and your nerves are running and you're going crazy, all of a sudden you can't breathe. How are you supposed to fight someone they're probably not as good as you, but they're breathing well, they feel good, because they've conditioned themselves by running or harder workouts, longer workouts, breathing exercises. They've conditioned themselves to overcome that tiredness. All right. So if you try to fight, and people who in the fighting world know what I'm talking about, all of a sudden your lungs feel like they're going to burst. They're on fire. You don't even care about the person in front of you that's trying to kill you or punch you or kick you. You're trying to breathe. So now all your attention's on trying to survive. You're in survival mode, and this guy's going to try to kill you, who's probably not as good as you, but is in better shape than you. All right. So you can be less talented, and someone could have so much talent, and I've seen it over and over. Talented people who did really well fighting say I don't have to train that hard. Then they meet their match. They'll find someone that isn't as good, but they trained hard, and their lungs are the major of most, your soccers, your basketballs, your hockeys, anything that keeps you going fast. All right, golf, not as much. You should walk if you can. Most people take a cart at this point. Me and my wife take a cart a lot, trying to relax and have fun with the game. But anything's with exertion, wrestling, you have to build those lungs up, and that's a must. Running, swimming, those are good ways to get the lungs strong. Strong's are, your lungs are another muscle, and if you strengthen them, they'll get stronger and stronger, and they'll be able to hold in more. That means your body doesn't have to worry about breathing, right? It has to do what it has to do, whether it's wrestling, taekwondo. You worry about that, your opponent, not your lungs falling apart on you. And I've had that happen to me more than once. And you learn. If you can't learn by experiences, then you'll never learn. All right? Books aren't going to tell you. YouTube's not going to. A lot of times it's experience. But as I say, you want to learn something on YouTube, or you want to learn something. How do I get better lung power? YouTube it and watch all the good exercises that you can do and what you should do. And remember that. That way you won't have to go through the point of you're in the middle of any kind of heavy sport and you can't even move because your lungs say no. And as I say, stretch before you do anything. Stretch. All right. Your water. Try to stay away from alcohol if you can. It's hard to do, especially team sports. Believe me, I know. But if you can, because it'll slow you down. It'll slow you down, especially if you win a big championship and you got another game the next day. But you partied that night because, boy, you and the boys. The next day it's gonna affect you. And if the opponents didn't do it, they have that one-up edge on you. Okay, so. That's just a quick half hour I have. I'll be trying to get more podcasts going more now. I've just retired about 3 months ago I retired, and I'm doing a lot of crazy stuff. But now I want to try to get this podcast. Anyone interested in joining me on my podcast, try to get in touch with us through datv.org. Leave a message. And, any kind of guest who has something to offer, we'd love to have you. Again, you can catch this on datv.org. We're on YouTube, Grandmaster Bob Lemire, Taekwondo Grandmaster Bob Lemire, USTS. You'll see the YouTube, and on all Spotify and all the podcast stations. You just look us up. So I hope you enjoyed the show. Till next time, have fun and train hard.